Welcome to Mindfully with Tumishe, the podcast that invites you to explore mental health with honesty, compassion, and openness. Each week, your host, Tumishe Oladapokuku, shares personal stories and stories from people like you. Together, we'll confront mental health myths and build a space where imperfection isn't feared but embraced. From self-esteem struggles to relational conflicts, we're here to discuss it all with guidance from experts and real raw stories that inspire healing. It's time to live mindfully. It's time to be compassionate with ourselves and each other. Mindfully with Tumishe, new episodes every week, available wherever you listen to podcasts or at blackimages.com.
Hey, mindful partners. Every now and then, life brings us to a full circle. Not for nostalgia's sake, sometimes it is, but to remind us of who we've always been or who we are becoming. So, today's guest is someone I grew up with. We shared the same streets, we shared some laughters, some teenage drama, teenage dreams, and now, years later, we share something even deeper, a passion for healing, for advocacy, and mindful impact. Today's conversation is one of grace and purpose. We're peeling back the layers behind a woman who wears many hats. And I'm going to try very hard not to do this interview with a friend, but with the barrister, with the advocate, with the nurturer, and the founder of Super Parent. If you don't know her, well, you're about to find out who she is today. Welcome, Folusho Oginni. I'm sorry, Mr. Liasu, but
to catch you.
Folusho Oginni Liasu.
Yes.
Thank you very much for coming to Mindfully with Tumishe.
Thank you so much. I'm excited. Thank you.
Yeah, right. Okay. Oh, Tumishe, no. You know, like, okay, if you guys could say that this was my teenage bestie. That's that's as far as I can go for the essence for it. But you see, like I said, it's a full circle moment, because even as we traverse the length and breadth of our culture, we didn't know that we're going to be advocates. We didn't know that we were going to be doing these things. Well, you knew what we wanted to do. I didn't know.
No, I knew. If you didn't know, for you, really? I knew.
Are you serious?
You're natural.
Oh,
you've always been fighting. Those battles for us. So I knew.
Oh, well, I've always been fighting, but a good fighter. Don't mind that.
I need fighting people's battles. So I knew.
Well, yeah, and that is refined now, and I think that's also refined now to living mindfully. Is what is refined now to advocacy and all that. So, like I said, I want to stay away from that. So, who I know Folusho Oginni at least, but this Folusho that has metamorphosed into Folusho Oginni Liasu, who are you when no one is watching?
I'm just me.
Yeah. Very
simple Folusho, the deep thinker, the passionate person. I can't give a definition of myself, but I'm just me.
What is the me? What is the me there?
Okay. The emotional. Yeah, so emotional. The passionate one. The selfless one. And also the ones that fight a lot of battle within. Yeah.
Okay, I don't know whether we want to go there, but what was growing up like for you? And I'm not asking you to go into details,
okay.
But because we won't finish that.
Okay.
I'm not asking you, but but did anything from that time, on a more serious note now, did anything from that time prepare you for the path that you are on now?
I think a lot. I think my old story, childhood stories, prepared me. I saw plenty. I saw lack. I witnessed wickedness. I witnessed kindness. So I felt my whole story had prepared me. I never knew I would go, specifically towards it, but I knew I was going to do something. I knew I was going to make impact. I needed to change narrative. I needed to do a whole lot, but I couldn't define it. So somehow I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised, but at the same time, I'm still like, how did I get here?
Yeah. Yeah, because I'm looking from, okay, so yeah, like you said, you wanted to change your narrative. I would have thought that would be the narrative. You're changing a better family for people, and children growing up in better relationships with their parents and all that. That I would have thought that would be the narrative you wanted to change. Given what I know. So I think my question then is, why it is not the narrative? Why it is it about super parents?
No, it's still the narrative. It's just that super parents are just covered. Even before I started super parents, I was advocating for children, and I still do. Child abuse, women-based gender, all that. I still do it, even from my post on Facebook. I'm firm about it. I'm firm about equality. I'm firm about treating people right. I'm firm about family values. Parents, caring for their children, not expecting the children to just understand and carry those burdens they are not supposed to carry. So I'm still vocal on that. Yes. And being a lawyer, I've had a lot of cases, when it comes to child abuse, I take it up. But right now, because I'm so engulfed in super parents, I do more of referral. But my post reflects that. When it comes to family, it reflects
So
it.
I was going to, but thank God you went to law. Was that your first desire, that what you wanted to study? And is that what influenced what you want to study?
What? I think medicine, something like that. But my
Why?
grades are short.
Oh, Maurice.
My grades are like, what?
I don't understand. Medicine,
I thought, okay, with medicine, I'll be able to help people.
Yeah.
That's it.
Okay.
Even, that was childish thoughts. I won't even collect money. I just do it free of charge. I've seen my mom, go through some medical challenges.
And then she was a nurse.
Yes, and she was a nurse.
Yeah.
I've seen, even, I visit the hospital regularly, and, you see people outside seeking help, funds for their, that's a part of me that, felt that pain.
So it's fair to say that, going back to the question I asked, that everything that you saw shaped you being an advocate, but you just didn't know what you were going to be advocating.
No, I didn't know.
So what inspired the start of Super Parents?
Okay. So like I said, generally I'm passionate about many things and changing narratives. Every time when there's a child abuse case, people will tag me. This one, they will tag me. Anything that has to do with saving lives, So one day, as I was scrolling down the Facebook street, what did they call it? Sugarbank Street. So I saw a post, and the woman was just writing, it was anonymous. She was not writing her pain, she's a mother of a child with special needs, what she's facing with this, and that she needed to get, what's this called? The hearing aid. Okay. And that was like 1 million naira. I said, this is something that should be accessible to everyone. I saw that pain deep. And people were just saying, it is well, go to this church, go to that. I was like, is that the solution? So I just wrote it there, please, wherever you are, please contact me. And so she contacted me. I know she's, we had a relationship. Till midnight, she would just be talking to. So I knew she was going through a lot. I just felt this space needs to be filled. She was suffering, stigma, discrimination from those that are supposed to support and love her. Family members, in-laws, even the system wasn't favorable. And I didn't know all these things were happening. I thought that they were supposed to receive, what would I call it? Favors from the government, from this, in that, all
special
that.
Needs people are supposed to be taken care of.
And when I delved into our world, I was like, wow. So I just posted it in Facebook. Please, if you're a parent of a child with special needs, can you come out? I need you to share your story. And there were lots and lots. So Super Parent just started, okay, there is a safe place, for parents to talk, chat, just safe space. They're not shutting you up. The thing is that you are not allowed. Judgment. Yes, no judgment. You are not allowed to speak about it. It's a shame. It's not a place of shame. Just share the experience once. Share your experience so that others can learn from it. But unfortunately, sorry. Was it? Is it unfortunately?
You're not that old.
It blew beyond my imagination.
So I can understand when the unfortunately is coming from. Like, okay, these blew beyond my imagination. Do I have the capacity to do this?
Yeah, you're right. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's just it. Do I have the capacity? And then people were seeking for funds. This is not what I imagined. I just want you to talk so that you feel light. Do you understand? You're not alone. You understand? You're not alone in this. And then get knowledge, the hospital to go to, stuff like that. But, they're seeing this. I started visiting the families, seeing all sorts of cases. I was like,
Okay, so I know you're a bit, we will get to that in a moment.
Okay.
But, because I would have thought, or somebody's asking, is Super Parents a safe place for parents to just come and be parents with children with special needs? Yeah. Okay, what is the right term? Is it children with special needs or children living with disability?
I think it's both. There are children living with disability that do not actually have special needs. They can navigate themselves. They're independent. There's no special needs, like they don't need any special accommodation or special whatever to be there. For example, like some physical disabilities, they can, some of them, not all, you understand, they can navigate, they can do a lot of things themselves without any help or special requirements or assistance, you understand. So those are different. But when it comes to when it comes to cases like autism and all that, those are special needs. Cerebral palsy, they have some needs and they need to be supported. Those are special needs. But somehow we just...
Okay, so how do you balance, because for me, maybe that's why you're saying that I've always been like this. And I know sometimes when people are listening to Mindfully with me show, or I'm talking something like, why do you have a story for everything? But, I don't know what I was telling. I had a cousin, I don't know whether she's still alive, like cousin, the same grandfather, not the same grandmother, but we had the same grandfather. I was never afraid to be around her. And she had, of course, now I know it's cerebral palsy. But, we didn't know what it was there. And even in Akonwaja, they treated her funny, they treated her, but she was, in my head, she was my cousin. And she just was, because I could see her emotions. I could relate with her. And funny enough, I think she's about 2 years older than I am.
Okay.
Yeah, or she was. I don't know whether she's still because the last I heard of her, she just had a baby.
Wow.
Oh yeah, this was way before I got pregnant and got married. Okay. Right. So she was non-verbal.
Okay.
She was a non-verbal CP patient. She was on, but I could hear her. I could hear her. I remember my mom used to say, I'm like, yeah, I could hear her. We could walk together. We could walk, and she was so badly bent. She was half bent. Yeah, she was half bent. But the light in her eyes was, like I never have been able to be afraid of people who live with some sort of disability, and I've never been. I don't know whether it's
because they're natural empath. So it doesn't. That was how I felt.
Here's where the question is: what then? How then are you marrying the societal construct? Because I think people are just afraid. People are just afraid that, this will pass on to my child. So how do you manage that cultural narrative with the obvious medical narrative that comes with children with...
So, okay, just like you said, you never saw any big deal. It's just, this is my cousin, that is how I felt. That just maybe different in a way, maybe physically or something. I've never saw the difference until I got involved. And I'm, my best friend in secondary school. Okay, my other best friend.
You see, the tea is
she's a polo survivor, and somehow I just relate with her. And I allow her to do things. And whenever she's trying to restrict herself and all that, I said, I don't see the difference in you. We will fetch water together. We'll do a lot of things together. Do you understand? Okay, when I need to help you, I help you. But when I started this, I saw the way people react to, persons or children living with disabilities. And it's because of, would I say the African superstition, and also, so many things, and it has been passed down from generation to generation. A lot of myth. There's a lot of myth attached to every disability. It's due to this, it's due to that, maybe a particular God, maybe a particular... Even to the educated, they still hold on to that beliefs. You understand?
There's just, and of course, you see, I'm being very careful because there's some supernatural. So you were saying, I said there's some supernatural. Yeah.
That's a fact. Even as a Christian, you ought to know that we believe in that. But sometimes when we dwell on that,
it kills the creativity to find solution.
God bless you. Thank you for giving me the right word.
Yeah.
Do you understand? I don't like dwelling on that. We know that it exists everywhere with us. Do you understand? But we would not dwell on that so that we find solutions.
Yeah.
There are some solutions that are just physical. Just a little bit of support. That's what they need to try.
Yeah.
You understand? So I don't like dwelling on that.
It's fine. I needed to just play
devil's
advocate. Yeah.
I know. I really like dwelling on. Okay, how can I help you? How can I help you to navigate, this terrain that you find yourself, without needing my further support? It may just be a wheelchair. It may just be, okay, I need someone to have a communication, to converse with, someone to make me understand that I'm a being too, just like every other person. It may just be the tiniest thing. You get. And thank God for advocacy. Thank God there's so much enlightenment and so much. So people are not really seeing the difference again. They're not really.
Before we move to whether the narrative is changed, I'm wondering about the parents that you work with at the early days of super parents. How many years now? This is. I know you have a sixth.
Okay. No, I'm not
Inclusive
good.
party.
I'm not good with math.
That's why I'm helping
No,
you.
the eighth. The
The eighth inclusive party.
So eighth inclusive party. We started 2018.
18.
Yes, and that was when Super Parents Foundation was founded.
Okay, you and I don't know math. 2018. Let's do the math.
Okay, 2018, 2019,
20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. Okay, so 8 years.
Yeah. Wow.
At the beginning, and this is me speaking as mindful Michelle, when you started relating with these parents, what was the first questions that came up when you started talking to them? Because let me give you the background to what the question I'm asking. We grew up when we were given birth to, we saw that, and then you see people give birth and they give birth to normal. Please, that is in huge parentheses for the sake of this conversation. It is not in any way a discriminative statement. Right? You see that, and then you give birth to a child, and that child isn't the definition of the world's normal. So I'm wondering, what was the first hurdle that you had to cross with these parents?
Is most of them were living in denial, and it wasn't easy for them to accept that they have a child, or that they have children.
Normal.
Yes, not in the normal.
What's the definition of normal?
Neurotypical. You understand? It wasn't easy for them to accept. So a lot of parents lived in denial.
Was it more denial or guilt?
And some guilt.
Yeah.
No, denial is even different. then guilt is a whole lot, and some is a combo. It's a combo. And then when you're asking them, okay, what have you done? Have you helped this child? Hospital, you understand?
Nothing's wrong with my child.
I will interpret for you. Yes, nothing's wrong with my child. Though it's just a little bit of delay. I don't need to do that. When I start doing that, it means that I believe there's something wrong with my child. When I start taking my child for therapy, and I start doing it, it means that I don't believe in my. I admitted. And then some goes, it's a spiritual thing. They're praying about it. I say, hey, how do I help these people? I needed to break that.
Especially you saying that they're coming to a place where there's no judgment.
No judgment. Do you understand? And they're like, well, a lot of them, even without saying it out, you can't understand. You don't have a child with disability. So how would you know? How would you know how you're feeling? You understand? So for me to be able to convince them that I'm part of you, I'm just seeking a solution, it was hard. Even some advocates that had children with disability, they're like, what are you doing here? You cannot understand. You cannot understand until they saw, how I was. It's not about me, it's about you finding a solution for yourself and me helping you with it. So denial, then guilt. Oh, if I had known, I'd taken her to this particular hospital. If I had known, I'd not work under this one. If I had known, I've done this. I would have
put pin on my
pin. If I had known, I wouldn't have done this. I wouldn't have done. If I had enough money, I would have done several CS. And a whole lot of guilt.
Especially with cerebral palsy.
With cerebral palsy, yes.
It's just
a lot of negligence.
A second or two of just not oxygen.
I'm telling you. So the cerebral palsy, a lot of it is due to negligence, ignorance, and all that. So the guilt is always so much. So for them to help their child, there's always a lot of restrictions. So you need to break that mentality for that. For it has happened. It's not your fault.
Now let's move on.
Yes, let's move on. How do we?
So how has, in the last 8 years, has the advocacy that Super Parents is championing, how has that shifted the narrative in the society, at least from the metrics that you have, and with special needs parenting? Is it more on the parent or more on the children?
On both.
Yeah.
I can't really give a statistic.
But are the parents better now?
The parents are better. They seek knowledge. One thing I always tell them, knowledge is key to healing.
Say that again. Knowledge is key to healing.
Sometimes when you get to know, you know that, oh, this is just what I need to do.
Sometimes clarity comes in silence. Other times it takes a gentle nudge, a conversation, a question, or a pause you didn't know you needed. That's what BHM coaching at Black Images offers. Not a fix, not a formula, but a space. One where your story is safe and your growth doesn't have to look like anyone else's. You can begin with a free discovery session. Just 30 minutes to breathe, reflect, and maybe, if you're up for it, sit with guided meditation. If life feels loud and you need support now, there's mindful coaching on the go. Short, focused check-ins that help you stay grounded when things feel shaky. For deeper shifts, there's the Journey to Being, a mindful exploration shaped by the framework from the book Living Mindfully, A Journey to Being. This isn't about perfection. It's about presence. And if you're someone who needs steady hands over time, the monthly and community plans are there, offering consistent support that grows with you. Visit blackimages.com when you're ready, not to be fixed, but to be seen.
It does not negate your faith.
Yes, it doesn't. You're praying, you're believing in God. Even you can't do this without faith. You can never ever do it without faith. I used to tell them that it's not about money, but it's the value you place on this child. That no matter what, I'm going to help this child. This child is my child. Example, I've watched film, true life stories, and even I've gotten testimonies from parents. They can't afford this, they can't afford therapies, they can't afford medical, they can't afford that. But their children are doing well. How? Because they believe in their child. They are positive. So some are unconsciously, they are helping their children. They're in the kitchen, maybe they are teaching their child, oh, this is how to do this, involving their child. This is how to do this is how to, involving the child, treating the child like a child.
Should be
treated. And the child not knowing the difference. Like, okay, maybe I can't just walk, maybe I can't just, and everything. But I'm still a child. I'm still loved by this woman. And then they're achieving milestones. And then they are wondering, but I'm not going for this, I'm not going for that. What the first therapy, I don't know, sometimes I get to...
It's okay.
Like I tell the parents, the first therapy, the first medication is love. It's love. Just love that child.
I'm letting that sink.
No, seriously. Just love that child.
The first therapy.
The first therapy is to love that child. Once you love that child,
I wanted to go somewhere, but I'm not going there anymore because I wanted to say, like, okay, do we see fathers more than mothers and super parents? But I didn't even want to. No, I don't want to go there because
it's essential.
It's essential.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Because he could say so. It could minister to someone.
Fair. So, who manages it better? Maybe that would make it much more. Who manages it better? The fathers or the mothers? Because I know a couple of, I've seen on social, I think people under your posts. They say, I don't want to say his name now because just to give him privacy. I see the way he's passionate. I'm sure you know the person I'm talking about. His name starts with an A.
Okay.
I see how he's passionate about his son who is a CP, who's living with CP. And I'm wondering, are all fathers like this?
No. No.
You push your Folusho's
No. He is like call it special. It's not supposed to be. It's supposed to be normal for every father to be involved, but we know it's not that way. He has a heart of a woman. I don't know if I can use that phrase.
It's okay. It's okay. You can use it.
That particular person you're talking about, and many of them like that, or few of them, that are involved in the lives of their children with special needs. They have this motherly
instinct.
And like I said, he loves his children. This man would do anything, just anything for his children, special needs or not. That is who he is.
I hope I'll be able to get him here because I need to.
No, I can drag him. He'll come. No, because I need to hear from him.
I've been wanting to get into his head and like,
what is happening?
What is going? Because I know he bends back over, backwards. And then comes back.
That is what will I call it?
Underestimating
No. That's when it goes on and on and on, and it's like I'll just say, man, relax. Everything will. You hardly see men. No, forget about special needs or something. You hardly see men that are so emotional, about the children. They just want success. They just want the best for their children. You hardly see. No, I'm not saying. But they are getting involved, as in, passionately involved in the lives of their children. They just want the best, So now him having a son, and that is his only son. That's the firstborn. Most fathers that I know, the African.
Like my first son is like this.
No.
Remember that movie I sent to you?
Yes. Kia. No, this is not in my family. This is not in my, and all that. It's just special. It's just one of a kind.
All right, so let's leave super parents and come to the heart of Folusho.
Okay.
Because I know you're a very emotional person.
Yeah, I am.
Your heart is always on your sleeves and all of that. So let's talk about you for a moment as we round this off here.
Okay.
So how do you balance the emotional weight of advocacy with your personal wellness?
Gotcha. Let me be fair, or let me be realistic. It's the balance is not really balancing, but I try my best. Being an emotional being, it takes a lot from you. It takes about but over the years I've tried to I'm learning, and I'm still in the process of learning that I can't take it all. Just do what you can do. Compartmentalize. What do you compartmentalize? Compartmentalize. That word is English. And everything. You can't do it all. Even if you want to, there are other aspects of your life that needs you. The family and all that. At one point, I was just mixing everything together, and there was a lot of issues, and I wasn't myself. But now, okay, this is family time, my business, my career, and when it's time for super parents time, and then I'm able to delegate.
You are delegating.
I'm delegating. I'm grown. So I have very good people that I can say, okay, undo this for me. But of course, my heart is still be there. Yeah. But it's way better. It's way better.
What role? And this is not because you're my friend or because you know me. So, what role do you think mindfulness and emotional intelligence can play in your life and then in caregiving?
Mindfulness and intelligence.
Emotional intelligence.
in my life, it will play a lot to for it will, for an emotional being like me.
For an empath.
For an empath, okay, that's the word. Emotional intelligence is key. Mindfulness, being intentional with you, with your life, with so many things. It will play a role. If not, your life will just be a whole bunch of chaos and all that. You'll be wondering, you'll just be living life.
Were you at this point at the beginning of Super Parenthood, you grew into understanding that?
No, I grew into it.
Okay.
I was just doing everything. When I see something, let me up. I was just doing everything. Bam! At a point, I just burned out. I'll just start crying unnecessarily, transferring aggression. It even affected my marriage. And then I'll start blaming. It's because you don't understand me. Do I even understand myself? Do you understand? I wasn't understanding myself the level I was until I sat down. I was like, no, be intentional, be mindful, engage emotional intelligence. Thank God for you. I can always cry to you and all that, and you're helping me out. And I don't want for therapy. Therapy is key. Don't think because you know it or you are strong, it plays a whole major role in my life. For me to be able, for my kind of being an empath, emotional and all that, for me to be able to sustain the foundation up till now and still my business and career and family. No, it's all about it's mindfulness. Yes. Hallelujah. Glory.
Okay. So before we go to the fun part, what is the number one misconception about special needs parenting you wish people understood?
Number one.
Yes. I know there are plenty, but pick one.
Okay, are you talking about the society or the parenting?
Parenting. Because like I said earlier, our mind is, I'm going to get married, I'm going to have children. That is going to be within the confines of the world's normal. And then there comes this twist.
It's a twist. Okay.
That are probably not equipped to handle. Okay. So, is it my faith? Is it I didn't have faith enough?
No.
Is it I didn't eat well enough? So, what are the misconceptions of being a parent with a special needs child?
Okay, in Africa. In Africa, I'm sorry that I have to do, because I know it's not a universal, that maybe there's something spiritually wrong with me. That is why I have a child with special. And they keep hearing that thing. The family, everything, they keep, it's not in my lineage. So that means there's something imperfect about me for me to be able to, give birth to a child with special needs or with disability, and that's a whole lot of misconception. I always tell them that even the Westerners, even in India, they have children with disabilities. It's not that they don't believe in spirituality and all that, but that is not the core. They would investigate, they would do a whole lot of things, unlike this. But in Africa, the first thing, I did not pray enough. I did not pray for there's something spiritually wrong with me. No, there are a whole lot of reasons why you have a child with special needs. Some we don't know. It could be genetics. Some
it could be genetics.
It could be genetics.
So I think let me help people with this. Your child, even you are an upgrade of thousands and thousands of your generation.
Oh yes.
So some things are latent, some things are dominant. We don't know why it skips some people in some generation and then lands on one generation. But and this is why I always advocates that we understand our stories of origin, we search our stories of origin, because trust me, someone in the family had it before.
Yes.
And he was either it's Africa, even all over. It was either, for example, let me use mental health questions, like ill health, like bipolar, like schizophrenia, and all of that. It's actually very genetic. So that a generation or two did not have it does not mean that it is not still in the gene.
Yes.
And of course, you are a new generation and all of that. And we're not saying that because you're under grace and all that law. But then again, there we have a Paul who we don't know his generation or genetic. We know that he died from a family of so blah, blah, blah. But he still had something that God said to him, "My grace is sufficient for you. I'm not going to take it away. I'm not going to take it away. The reason this is there is for you to always come back to me." So I hope that helps someone out there.
Yeah.
There is nothing that you have done. There is
Life moves fast, sometimes too fast. If you're looking to slow down and reconnect with yourself, Living Mindfully, A Journey to Being by Oluwatomise Oladapo Kuku might be what you need. It's part memoir, part guide, an honest, deeply personal story about navigating life's noise with intention. Oluwatomise shares lessons from her own journey through struggle, reflection, and healing, with a voice that's equal parts vulnerable and wise.
It felt like she was speaking directly to me, raw, real, and quietly powerful.
Get your copy wherever books are sold, or visit blackimages.com to begin your journey. Living Mindfully, A Journey to Being. Slow down, breathe, begin.
There's nothing you could have done to make it better. There's nothing that you could have. There are people who they had the best of medical help, and they had the best of it, and the children still, the best of the best. There are people there's just a lot. On this side of eternity, there are some things we won't understand.
Yes.
So when they have happened, the best thing for us is to stop, breathe, notice, reflect, respond, and then resolve. That way it's easier for us to navigate. I've always said it on the show that we are trained to know how to be happy. We don't know how to be sad. We don't know how to navigate when things, even motivations and all that. Everybody motivates you to get up out of sad quickly. But sometimes it's in that darkness that is healing, it's in that darkness that is peace. And if your people say to be that day, that's what it means. So if we can enjoy Ire, why can't we learn to enjoy Ibi? In this case, I'm not saying that special needs is EB, but contextualizing.
Yes.
Thank you so much. So, now that we're off of the serious one, so what's one lesson your work has taught you about humanity?
One lesson.
Yeah.
That you always find the help. You always find. Don't close your heart or your mind to help. You will always find that someone that is willing to help you. Just open your heart. I know that they always say the world is dark, but there's always light. There's always help.
Oh. Hey, it's a preacher in the house today. If you could whisper one truth to every special needs parent today, what would that truth be?
Accept your new normal. Yes.
Barrister is preaching.
Accept. Once there's acceptance, I'm telling you, you even become the preacher. Accept your new normal. Don't believe that the normal you see is the normal that should be. Own your new normal. You have a child with disability. That is my new normal. Be comfortable with it. Be confident in it. Accept it. And I tell you, everything will just fall in place. Everything will fall in place. Yeah.
Tea or coffee?
Coffee.
A book that changed your life?
A book. Why do I always forget her name? I don't know. God help me. She's a Christian. She's this low court. You
Joyce
should
Meyer.
know. Joyce Meyer.
Which
God
what's the
help me.
title of the book?
Hey, God. Oh.
Battlefield of the Mind.
Battlefield of the Mind.
Because I watched the book, so
to say the truth, I've not finished the book till today.
I've not finished mine too. I bought 2 that time. I've not finished mine too, yeah.
Just 2 pages was all.
Yeah.
Just 2 pages. Yeah.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Describe yourself in one Yoruba proverb.
Hey, no one back me yet. Hey, your mom, sorry. I pass.
Can you pass? What?
You should have prepared me for that.
No, why should I prepare
And
you?
I've googled it. Or AI or something.
So your final thoughts as we run off.
My final
Thoughts, yes, on this conversation as we run off.
Okay. Okay, just find you. And even with this conversation, I'm finding me again. Find who you are. Run with it. Passionately run with it. And get help when you need it. You can't do it alone. To fulfill your destiny, you can't do it alone. Just find you.
Thank you so much, Barrister Folusho Oginni Liasu.
I still wanted to find that thing for describe me in that your manage.
No, it's not, you can still be thinking. When I round off, you can think of it. Maybe to come to you.
It to come.
The CEO and founder of Super Parents. Super Parents is a community for parents with children. Yeah, parents with children with special needs. And like you heard her say, it's a place where you are allowed to be a parent, a person, in the midst of people where there is no judgment, where you're allowed to be. Folusho reminds us that true strength isn't always loud, it is consistent, it is resilient. And like you heard her say earlier, it is rooted in love. The first therapy and drug is love. So as we navigate the often complex rules of parenting, may we learn from her journey, even in the face of adversity, the community and compassion that can light the path forward. And as I say, I used to thinking about your Yoruba proverb. As we close to this episode, I'm inviting you in the fashion of Mindfully with Timishi to pause and reflect. Whom from your past reminds you of who you are becoming? Can you trace any full circle moments in your life? Those quiet nudges that connect your childhood dreams with your present purpose? What have those moments taught you about growth, grace, and timing? So take a few minutes today as you're listening to this. After you've listened to this, pick out a journal, voice note if you want, just write these reflections. Who are you becoming? What are you becoming? How are you choosing to become? You might be surprised by what you uncover. Sometimes the seeds of who you are were planted long before you knew what they would grow into. So, if this episode reminded you of someone special from your past, reach out, reconnect. It could be the beginning of another full circle moment. My name is Oluwatomishi Oladakbokuku. Love yourself, love your neighbor, love your country. Above all of this, love God. He is the essence of your being. Follow me on socials, and if this episode has touched you in any way, leave us a note, DM, share, follow, would appreciate it. Like, it helps the algorithm appreciate you. May you be well, may you be safe and free from harm, may you have peace all around. Until next time, stay mindful.
Yeah.
This is Mindfully with Tumishe, brought to you by Black Images.